It's been a bit since I did my last review for Hinowa, and obviously the last chapter was just pretty much just graphic rape scenes, and I was like, I don't really have anything to talk about here. I'll just wait till the next chapter, and then we got this chapter. Again, way more of like the plot and stuff in the story that I was interested in, and I was weird because in the last chapter I was like, okay, we can get past the graphic rape scene, and then we'll just get to the actual parts in the story. And that was pretty much the whole last chapter until like the final page. And I was like, okay, never mind. I'll just skip it and I'll wait till the next chapter. And the chapter that I decided to wait for had a lot in the story that I was really interested about. So, thumbs up win right there. So the first thing that we find out is that Akame is going to leave the main group, which I think it ties into the story, so it makes sense. But it's also kind of needed because she's too OP for them. She's like the second she does her whole lifting of her curse, she's just one-shotting all these bad guys because she's way more experienced, way more powerful, way more skilled. And we've seen shown throughout the series so far that like the big people in this series aren't nearly as powerful as like a big person in Akame Got Killed. Like their level of powers and abilities was just absurdly off the charts compared to them. Like think of like how like easily S-Death would just run through all of the members of Tenryu and stuff. But while they're discussing it, she's like bringing up how the person that is over in Tenryu that she's going to go try and investigate, she's going to go to the mainland and seemingly infiltrate. I'm wondering if she's going to end up trying to join their army or if she's going to kind of do like ninja spy stuff. But she wants to go figure out what's up with that guy, the eye patch dude. Again, I don't remember his name. I still need to read the prequel to figure out who this guy is, because I've seen him before, but obviously I don't know anything about his lore and how he connects to Akame. But clearly, he's very important if she's willing to stray away from the main group in order to go figure out what's going on with him. So I think that's going to be a really fun side plot, just because it's going to get her out of the group. Like I said, she is too strong to keep around. Because if you have somebody that all she has to do, pop one of those, drugs, and then bam, she just one-shotting people, that's all you really need. Because we don't know the full extent of what, like, the bigger people in Tenryu, are capable outright, but there's been nothing so far from them that would make me think that they could stop her. Like, the second she comes out, she's just demolishing them. This other guy is probably the only person that can fight her, just because the freaks in general, and like what they can give, because was it Danger Beasts, I think, in Akame Got Killed, like the freaks don't seem nearly as powerful. But like, say if this dude came over from like the same area, like from Akame Got Kill zone, and has one of their quality weapons, he's just gonna start mauling the hell out of people, right? So he's just gonna like do way more damage. And maybe he'll lead into like people over here getting better freak weapons, and like maybe the rise in just their general power levels and stuff. Who knows? But I was interested just in outright in like that decision right there, because it builds a better look going forward in like some of the threats, and obviously focusing more on Hinowa. Because one of the things about like the dynamic between the two of their characters is the second Akame starts doing stuff, she starts to really overshadow Hinowa, because obviously she's more skilled, she's got way more of a backing behind her from being like a major character in the previous series. But on top of that, like I said, the second she like gets her powers, like her level of strength and her fighting capability fully lifted from the curse that she's got on her, she's just like, she shows up, like by such a like amazing degree that it's like you can't keep her around forever. It's one of the reasons why I think it's important, like say like you look at like it's not the same series obviously, but like Boruto, it's like you can't have Naruto around all the time, because he's just gonna like, he's got so much going on for him, obviously way bigger fan base, and he can do way more. So it's like you can't have the bigger characters around from both like a fighting standpoint of the fact that they can just beat everybody, but also overshadowing the main character is like it's a very dangerous thing to do, because if you like your main character starts to lose interest, like people start losing interest in your main character, it can really hurt the series. But it's not the same as like if you have a new character that's like maybe like a badass or somebody who's just really cool or whatnot, where it's like a brand new character, that holds kind of like a different level of weight than somebody obviously like the board. Like Akame was like the second most important character in the previous series. Like she's carried on, she's got a lot of stuff going on, but obviously Tatsumi was the main character. Like he had way more of like the direct role in the series. But while they're kind of like just talking on the voyage over, like they bring up how like Kino's going to become like the leader of this next nation and stuff. And one of the guys is like saying how like he wants to call her queen, and he's like, oh, it's been really cool that you're going to become a ruler, and he's like saying he's fallen for her. I'm hoping he's saying that more of like a respect thing and not like a simp thing. we don't need any simps in the cast. Like we don't need any of them. If he's just kind of doing it like out of a sign of like again her rank, her level of strength, and her ambitions, cool. I'm hoping he's just not being like I said, big simp. Don't want that at all. They're saying they're trying to find the sage guy that Enji told them about, and they're going to be going to the city in order to locate him. And I like the design of the place. It was Azami in the Sauryu Nation. It just looks really cool, like this really nice like mountainside town. You have all this nice just general architecture, and obviously like the stores and shops. And they're looking for information on this guy, and they're saying how like even if you go and find him, like some guy and a monster will chase you off. He's got like a freak, and it looks like this weird panda bear thing, and he's like this guy shows up saying his name is Komatsu, and it'd be really interesting if that is in fact a freak, because then it's like there's a way that you can tame them too, and like in a much more calm way than just having like a subjugated beast. But this guy with the glasses seems pretty cool. I like his design. I like he's got a very arrogant personality, but he seems like one of those guys who's arrogant, but he has like a degree of actual like merit to back that up. He calls it like he says like when he introduces himself, rather he says like the talented Makira, and people are even saying like he called himself talented. But I feel like this is one of those characters that could actually hold up the level of weight that he just put on his own name and stuff. But he goes to talk to the dude that they're here for, that obviously being his brother. I'm wondering if when he calls him his brother, if it's more of like a sign of respect, or maybe that they're close. But it could just be that they're straight blood related. Where they meet this guy, what was his name again? It starts with an R. Ryugo or something, I think they said his name was when they were talking to him. Obviously, he's a new character. I don't have his name imprinted into my brain yet. When it comes to like newer characters, unless they stand out, it takes me a little bit longer just to kind of memorize them. Just because this guy, he's like or Rugyu, or however his name's pronounced. Like, he's going to be somebody we're not going to see a lot on top of that, but he's clearly going to be important. Because when he's talking to Hinowa, and he brings up that, like, you can't rush into battle, like, she's got to go, like, he's pretty much puts her on a quest to go see the other regions and nations and stuff, to kind of learn, because her want to kind of be a ruler and end war, like, she's looking at it from, like, a straight, like, simplified outlook on it, whereas, like, he's going to send her off to learn the general ideas of the actual weight behind the words that she says of, like, trying to end this war and become a ruler, and what it would mean to become somebody that if you're in charge, like, how are you going to prevent, like, the other, like, how are you going to prevent war? Like, if she maybe gets, like, good ties from people with other nations, then she'll have more of, like, she'll probably have way more of, like, a diplomatic setup to where, like, she would have people in the court of, like, every nation to where she can, keep things under wraps, keep information going, and know how to keep everyone calm and kind of, like, probably way more mannered and working together. And he also mentions that, like, there's going to be other more powerful people that she's going to be along the way, gather people in her crew as they kind of progress. So there will be at least, I would assume, one character, like, joining the main cast per region they go to. Maybe more. Like, that's going to be one of the things that, like, right here. And at the end of the chapter, like, he even says that, like, oh, you'll probably meet people wiser than me and stuff, better sages than me. And I don't think so, because, like, the way that Hinowa, like, brings it up at the end of the chapter when she's singing herself, she wants this guy to keep advising her, is his just, like, general quest that he's put her on. I think she knows that, like, because he even says, like, that the advice just hit her deep, is because outright, like, this quest, it's not just going to be like hey, go see stuff. Like I said, it's going to be a learning experience for her to actually, like, understand, like, the weight of the idea of, like, I'm going to be a ruler and stop all these wars, crush this nation stuff. It's you can't just have it as, like, oh, I'm going to get strong, beat the main bad guy, and then be in charge. Is you have to have way more, you just have to have way more under your belt, because it's not like it's a title by power level. If you're going to have, like, more of a diplomatic ruling, and you're going to be in charge of nations, you have to have like, a grasp on, again, like, the more political structure and stuff, and just, like, how decisions and stuff are going to affect each nation and whatnot as it's going. But anyway, other than that, though, I thought it was a really good chapter. Like, it was more in, like, it was weird because it was, like, there was a decent amount of dialogue and there was a lot of stuff going on, but it was way more of, like, again, the sectional pieces. You're just getting a brief understanding on a couple of things set up. And mostly in the stuff with the Kame, and then this guy setting them out on a quest. I'm very interested in seeing how this is going to go. So, This chapter, like I said, solid, very solid information and setup chapter. I really want to see how things kind of like progress from here, and I'm hoping we see more of like the main cast. Because the weird thing is, like, we know now that they're going to age slower, and the guy said that they can live to be like 200. So what is like the gaps of time going to really look like? Because the princess obviously is stuck with the Zhao King, and I'm so worried that they're gonna end up like doing some form of like Stockholm syndrome thing, like she's gonna end up getting pregnant and then being stuck there, and it's kind of be like way more complicated situation than her just killing the king. I really am hoping that doesn't happen. I just want her to kill him, and it's that's going to be such a back burner plot line. I know it's going to be drawn through a much longer period of time than just that. So that's going to be really rough. I really don't want to see that side. While at the same time, I just want to see the king die, because I don't want to see more of this guy's like bad side, because it's like we already know. I don't need to see it again and again. I already don't like the king. I want him to, like, I really look forward to seeing him get killed. And I'd rather see the other bad guys and the other kind of like side plots than seeing this guy just be a bastard again. But anyway, other than that though, comment below, thumbs up the video, prefer the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everybody's already subscribed. Thank you all for listening. Bye.